Hello my creative and crafty friends, this is Gloria Plunkett with Designs by Gloria, here to share with you how to create this cute pine cone ornament. I had a follower ask me to create a video. Last year I shared a few photos of how I created, the ones I created was before my little pooch decided to chew on them. And don't worry, she didn't eat any of the pins, she was perfectly okay. But anyway, I thought I'd show you how to create these. Here's a couple items you're going to need. I found these 2 5/16 by 3 1/16 egg-shaped styrofoam balls. So we're going to use one of those. I like to use these dressmaker pins. I got them from Dritz at my local Joann store. And these are the pins, and this is what, ouch, don't poke yourself. This is what they look like up close. And so I'll be using some of those. I also like to use a thimble because your fingers will hurt by the end that you're done. So, and this is one that's really flexible. It still has that metal tip and the little divots inside so your pin doesn't go slip sliding around. So you can use this, quite frankly, in any finger. And so it helps push that pin down without tearing up your fingers, because it will tear them up. You're also going to need a 12 by 12 sheet of your favorite cardstock. This is what I have left so far. I cut 7 1-inch strips, which look like this. Then I cut these 1-inch strips using my paper trimmer. Got it here. And I just cut these down to 1-inch squares. So I like to use this left side of my trimmer when I'm doing this. So I'm going to cut one, and so they're 1-inch squares. So I'm not going to go through this whole package here, or this whole 12 by 12 sheet, and show you how to do this. I'm just going to do this one sheet. So you're going to end up with a ton of pieces. I only cut 7 1-inch strips, and then these 1-inch little squares. If I need a few more, I can always cut another strip. I just didn't want to waste more paper than I had to. That's not really waste if you plan to make more than one. So you just come along and you make all your little 1-inch squares. Pretty easy squeezy. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take these and you're going to kind of try to find the middle here. And we're just going to make a little house out of them. So we're going to press this down. They don't have to be perfect. You can use a bone folder. I did not. And as you can see, they're still nice, even without the bone folder. So you kind of want that little tip there to kind of meet. It doesn't have to be, like I said, perfect. And you create these tiny little house type, and you make a bunch of those. So I have a bunch already folded and created for you, because I know you don't want to see me go and create all these little pieces. So I'm going to pull out some pins here, and we'll get started. This is so easy and it's so fun to make. On this particular one, I created just an extra bow. I added some of the metallic, Whisper White metallic edge ribbon. Then I added one of our cute little bells from the Jingle Bells that carried over in our holiday mini catalog. It's called the mini catalog. I keep calling it the holiday. So anyway, we're going to open one of these. Should have had this open already. Sorry for the noise. And then there's a wider top and a skinnier bottom. We're going to start at the skinnier bottom. And I kind of balance the egg there till I kind of figure out where the center is. Then I bring one of my strips, kind of make sure the tip there is kind of centered on your little egg shape here. And we're going to add pins here. Here, this is just the first 4 to create our end. You don't have to add the pins. You could use adhesive for this particular piece. I kind of like the way those little pins look in the center there because that's what we're creating, so you don't see the styrofoam. Then we're going to take another one and we're going to add it right across. And we're going to stick some pins down. And you can see by pressing these pins that your fingers, especially on this area where it's more, where it's doubled the paper, your fingers would eventually get hurt. Sore, I'm sorry, sore is the word I'm looking for. So now I'm going to put these across from the other two. You don't have to use a thimble if you got tough fingers. I guess I'm a wimp. And all I'm doing is just pushing them down inside of the styrofoam ball. The last one goes here. Like I said, I like the way the little pins look at the edge of the paper. Okay, and that starts the bottom of your pine cone. Okay, so I forgot to share with you. This is the thimble that I use. This is the brand. I got this on Amazon. Now, we're going to do this next step all the way to the top. We're going to bring in the next piece of cardstock, and we're going to pin it about that far. Maybe, what is that? Maybe 1/8 of an inch from the one side to the other. So I'm going to try and get 1/8 of an inch here, 1/8 of an inch here. Center it between these two pieces here. And I'm only going to add 2 pins on this one. I'm going to add one here. And I'm going to add one here. Okay. Then I'm going to come across. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. Come in about 1/8 of an inch on either side so that my rows are even. Put a pin here. And a pin here. Then come across the other way. Get in the center here. Coming up about 1/8 of an inch on both sides. And again, basically we're going to do the same thing all the way around up to the top. Bring in my next sheet. 1/4 of an inch on both sides. Don't poke yourself like I did like 10 times already when I created my other one. Probably didn't help why my fingers were so sore. Sometimes your paper will shift, so you want to make sure. Okay, so those are the first 4 to start your cone. And then all you're going to do all the way up is as you go around, you're going to come down about 1/8 of an inch, and you're going to go in between and stagger your pins all the way around. So I'll do a couple more. Then I'll pause the video and add my sheets, and then I'm going to go across and do the same thing. Come in 1/8 of an inch on both sides. Hold my paper down and stick my pins on either end. And I'm just going to keep rotating. Wanted to pop in and show you as I'm going through creating my little stems here. They're not going to line up perfectly, and that's okay, because as the egg gets wider here, you're going to need to put 2 instead of 1, so they're not going to line up exactly the same. So don't worry about that. Just keep going all the way around till we get to the end. Okay, I've gotten almost all the way to the top. There's just a little bit left over here. As you can see, we just staggered all the pieces of designer series paper over the top. And now we need to add our little hanger here. I've cut a 9-inch piece of the real red sheer ribbon from Stampin' Up. And I'm going to take a couple of pins and I'm going to add it to the center here. I'm going to scooch that in. These I'm going to put in at an angle, so I don't want them just popping out when they go to hang it. So that's pretty good there. I'm going to add just one more at an angle over here, because I don't want it coming out. You could also put some hot glue or some liquid or some multi-purpose liquid glue on your pin and then stick it in, and that'll keep it from coming out. I've also created this cute little bow using the same ribbon, and my husband made me a couple years ago this cute little bow maker, and I just wrap it around and tie it in the center to create this little bow. They don't have any of the greenery or anything out at the Dollar Tree yet, or I would probably use that as well. So now I'm just going to stick my bow here at the top, covering the little styrofoam ball area, and I'm going to come in from the bottom and stick it in. And I'm going to do this in several areas to ensure the ribbon does not come off. And again, I'm going it at an angle because I don't want it popping out. I love how these turn out. I think your friends and family will enjoy them as well. Anything handmade is wonderful to me. And I think if you're like me and crafty, I think your family also enjoys your custom handmade projects and appreciates the time that it takes you to put these together for them. Okay, there we have our little pine cone. One last thing I'm going to do is I've threaded a little small bell from the Jingle Bells in the holiday catalog they carried over, and I'm just going to wrap it around the bottom of my bow and tie it on the back so we get a little bit of jingle. Like I said, you can use any topper you want. If I had some greenery, which I thought I had left over from last year, but I couldn't find any, so I went ahead and just used the coordinating ribbon, and I'm gonna tie a double or triple knot here, and then I'll trim those off. I don't have my scissors here with me, but there you go. That's how it is. Hope you'll enjoy this, Brenda, and you're going to share what you've created and everyone else with me. Y'all have a blessed and happy day. Talk soon. Bye-bye.